How you all doing? Ralph here, Ralfy Custom, back again on this Triumph rigid frame. We're going to carry on with the engine mounts and look at getting the frame tubes in. Let's do it. It's a fresh one this morning, so we've got the blower on. I hope you can hear me over it. Regular readers will have left me at the point where we're making these chats for the engine mounts. So go on here, look, to have plates off. Sorry, not filming it very well. To have plates off, so I'm going to carry on with that this morning. Just get the last of these machined out, and then we're going to look at notching the ends to fit on that backbone, centre post. Righto, we're just doing the last one out to 15mm relief because we don't need these to be a big solid 2-inch chunk of thread light. So I've just tickled the drill bit up on the grinder, and as you can see, it's making short work of it, but it's not throwing out proper curly really. So that's alright, that'll do. So that's 30mm deep. Which gives us 20mm of thread in the main body, which is more than enough. Yeah, that'll do. Happy days. Right, let's get this out. A quick deburr, break that edge. Quick clean up, and let's look at chamfering them to fit on that centre post. Coping them, notching them. Yeah. Right, with those machined down, we're over at the milling machine. And we've got them setting the vise on parallels. That's just a bit of 25mm bar to stop the vise from cocking, just to get us right. And we've got this, it's not a fly cutter, I'm not sure what you'd call it, but it is. We've got this cutter with a carbide bit in. Is it a profile cutter? Is it a boring? Is it a boring tool? Is it? Oh wait, I thought it was quite interesting myself. And what we're going to do is just touch on that end. So you have to bear with, you're kind of in my way. So I'm just going to touch on that end there, look. Just there, that'll do. Yep. And I need to come 1.7. We've had a bit of a jiggery pokery around. So I'm going to go 8.86. Sorry, 0.85. And we're going to profile that down, look. Nice and steady. Just with the hand feed on the quill. Yeah, lovely stuff. Somebody made that cutter, it's fucking great, I've had it ages. Right, 1.6, sorry, 1.7 will get us where we want to be. We were originally going to go for quite a big cope, and when I did the first one I realised that I didn't need to go that deep to get the desired profile, so we've had a rethink and a bit of a re-engineer like on our way along. So here we are at 1.7. Clear that, and there she blows, Captain. So that now, it's got a quite good burr on it, but that now will sit lovely on that bit of backbone, on the centre post. Yeah, that will now sit kind of like that. Yeah, instead of like that, which is a bit naff. Sorted. Here you go, look, I'll show you better here, look. The lighting here looks awful through the camera for me. Hopefully it will record brighter. But you can see how they fit much nicer than they would if they were just square onto the tube. So, there you go, that's a better shot for me than that. It only takes a few minutes. A quick deburr on the belt sander, and we're then ready. We can cut the plates that I showed you in the last video that I've worked out. There, look, we're gonna have little plates on the bottom and bigger plates on the top. slightly bigger plates on the top. Sorted. Right, so we know we need this quarter plate. We're going to use the edge that it came with. It's going to be the top edge, and then we drop down square. So the top of the plate is going to run flat level with the ground, like, you know, horizontal, and then drop down the centre post. So we know we're square anyway. We can scribe a line. We can pick a square somewhere on this, avoiding all the dross, and we'll mark a line up, and then we'll come along necessary steps to plot it out straight onto here. We'll mark them out straight on the sheet, is what I'm waffling on about, and then we'll chop them out with a cutting disc and shape them to suit.
Don't forget, folks, our Fuckstock stickers are now available in our Etsy store, link in the description below. Fuckstock, you know it makes sense.
Right, I'm hoping you can see the light. There you go, that's kind of better. There they are marked out, the big one for the top, the little one for the bottom, and I will cut them out with a cutting saw, as I've said, and get them cleaned up. We'll copy them as well, so I'll cut that out, clean up the straight lines, not worried about the corners, and then we'll trace around it and cut another one out, ×2. Tack them two halves together, the two plates together, and then drill them out, and we'll use our filing guide, probably. So we'll bolt this to the corner where the hole is, and we can use that to get the nice round shape on the job. Like, it's a bit easier and quicker than working dead to the scribe line. And it's a fuck of a lot easier and quicker than using a rotary table to get a nice shape on the edge of the plate. So there we go. There's 2 of each cut. Top and the bottom, a left and a right. We'll take them over to the Mighty Meddings and drill them out 10.5. The whichever hole it is, that hole, I'm not sure now. I need to have a measure. Needs to be 12 for the engine. The engine bolt hole needs to be 12. I'm just not sure which one it is. If I'm looking back to how I had them set up before I cut them, it's that one on both. But we'll do 10 at first because we want to use a file guide to give us a nice radius, a quick cheat for the radius, which I'll show you. Right, we're over at the Mighty Meddings, and we've got one of the pairs of plates clamped up in the vise, standing on a little parallel, well, a little bit of block of alley, so we can get them drilled through. Always easier and safer to use the vise when possible. We've already ran a quick centre drill. We'll start them off with the centre drill. They don't go all the way through, and we'll reach a point, well, about now, where we're just cutting straight in with a 10.5 line. You could probably do with a tickle on the stones, but having said that, it's certainly doing its job well. Look, happy days. Let's get a bit of fucking anchor lube on and get these holes drilled out. Right, with them drilled out, look, we can fit on the filing guide, which I'm going to use a sander with. I'm going to use a flap disc, but it gives us a guide. It gives us a nice shape to follow, and we can just run to that. It don't matter if it's not exactly right. Look, we're slightly off on that edge, but it's fine. We can still carry it round, and we'll do it on all of those holes with the old flappy disc. If it was massive, if I'd left this on, I'd chop it off with a cutting disc first, just get it about right, but that'll stand up lovely, I reckon. There you go, look, so we've just followed, if it'll focus, we've just followed the curve of that to give ourselves a nice shape. Could do with a little bit more there, maybe. It's not the roundest. It's due a skim down or we make a fresh one. It's about on the end of its life. It's been kissed with the sander or grinder a few times, but it's still fucking a nice easy guide when it comes to getting the radius on these sorts of things. So we have the added benefit of when we tack them together, we tack on the corners. So, and what's that? So once we smooth that off to suit that guide, it takes the tack fucking hard. That's fucking hot. It takes the tacks off as well. So once I undo this, ta-da, then we'll give that a quick clean up, clean the edges up. And there's the plates, like, you know. I was thinking of putting a relief hole in, but they're not really big enough for that. This one's certainly not big enough for that. And I've not done it on the front ones for the same reason. They don't really need it, so we will follow suit. I'll get this one undone, get them cleaned up, and then we can look at bolting the modules on I've just made, so we can drop these on the bike and get them tacked in place. Fuck about. And here we are, look, with the top and the bottom on the left done, bolted in place, coped out to make a nice joint. And what I've done, I've made the back of the bracket parallel, you can't really see, to the upright, to the centre post. So we're lovely jubbly on there. Means we're running, these are running true to the middle of the tube, like, you know, they're in line with the tube. The problem, not the problem, the next thing I need to work out is, we knew that we'd need spacers for this side, because this fucking comes out like Barry Sheen's fucking knee, doesn't it? It's not so long. It's a long one. These are the same both sides, so these are short. I didn't want to make great long things and weld them to the frame, so that's not right. What I'll do, I'll offer up, I'll have a measure man, and see what we need to fill the gap, and then we can get them in. In the meantime, I can tack these on. These are absolutely spot on for it, and that'll give me something to, means I can undo it without it all falling apart when I come to fit the spacers on the other side. Like. Right now, so for those spacers, I've got ourselves a nice bit of 25mm stainless steel. Let's get it faced up. It's not sitting as true as I'd like it, to be fair. Not that it's over crucial on the tolerances. We'll get a centre drill in that and get it drilled out to 12.5, and we want two at 14mm, two at 36mm, so nice and straightforward. Right, we've re-chucked up a bit straighter. I'm just going to put a little bit of a chamfer on there and get ready to drill it out. So as always, we're in with centre drill. Fucking brush, look at state of me brush, that ain't that old. I've cooked it hot enough. I guess I better chips get on it and, well, do that to it, like, give it a funky afro. So let's get it started with a centre drill. And now straight in, this is 1/2 inch this drill, so I need a new brush. So let's just get her started. It's about level with the 10-1, 36 plus 3mm for the tool is 39, plus a little bit as a lead through. So I'll get her drilled out. That is cutting. Look at me brush, look, showing off. That is cutting absolutely wonderfully. I'm just coming up on 20mm deep. So we've got a little way to go, but that's happy days, that is. Right, out with that done, we'll just break that edge and switch out to the parting tool, excuse me, slightly off camera, and we want 36, don't we? So we'll touch on, like so. And we move along 39 because the tool is 3mm. So that puts us there. Lock off my saddle off camera, and with my posh new brush we can keep this well lubed. So that is happy days. In fact, that is drifting off a bit, Ralphy. Bear with. Right, unbeknown to me, we had a knackered tip, so this, you can't see it, but this cut's wrong. It's put a fucking bevel on the end of it where it's not going to work for me. So what I'm going to do is get the 214s out of this bit Okay, so we want this at 17mm, which is there. I've lost my spanner. Here we go. Find my spanner. Tighten that up. There's a little bit more sticking out than I would normally have, but heavy beat. And this time, this should cut wonderfully there, boys. Like so. Here we go. Maybe get a little bit of chatter. Maybe not. Plenty of lube on the job. And boosh. One down. One to go. We'll do another 14 and then we're halfway there, aren't we? And so to finish, we need to fuck that burr off. So we'll just touch on. Take that end. Boosh. Cheers then. We need to break that edge. Like so. And then we need to come in with this parting tool. Sorry, chamfer tool. Parting tool. Fucking Jesus. And it's tight against the chuck, boys. But we can just get on there. Fucking hell. There we go. Sorted. So, with those machined and in place, we've got the other half of the brackets. It's cold today. I'm warming my hand up. Well, I've tacked that on. We have that tacked in place, so when you take the bracket off and it's all set there, they'll be even both. They're just, you know, I didn't want great long things, like I've said. That would have been fucking daft. So there's the rear mounts done. I'm seriously considering not using this mount because it's a cunt. It's right in the way. It's going to hit the tank because it's a lot wider than the top tube. This water thing's in the way, although it could be rotated, but I'm not sure what's happening with the cooling system on it. Not in my brief. So there's a bit of guesswork, a bit more guesswork. I'm thinking of a central boss that comes up and bolts on, triangulates onto something. I don't know. Nice little bit of plate, a bit like this, but it needs to unbolt. I don't want it hanging right down here. It's going to get right in the way when you come to set the engine out else. So that will be either next on the agenda or I'll do the back rails. And at the minute I'm fancying the back rails because I'm not sure what to do about that top mount. Righto, with those all done, and we can now look at this loop. We're going to make this seat loop. We've had a measure and a mark, and got a couple of bits of tube that we need to bend to 90. Look, I've already done one. There's the seat rails ready. They need a bend from 9 inches. 9 inches from the end, we're going to start a bend that's going to make the seat rails, and is one half of the seat loop. We make it in 2 halves and join it, and everyone's a winner. It's fucking hard work. Bending this 1.25 inches, even with this mighty JD squared, is proper hard work to get 90 degrees. Like, it takes some grunt, especially when you're only a skinny lad like I am now. Time for a quick munch. Eggs and corned beef. Yes, it is canned. Yes, I am British. I've not fried and fuck off, get out. I normally fry the corned beef as well as the eggs, but I've not done that today. Fancy it au naturel. Straight out of the tin. Bit of salt and pepper. Happy days. Right, we're then bent up. We've laid them out, look. We're going to make a loop that fits those black lines that I've marked. So we're going to have a join here in the middle, and I've just marked through. It could be here, it could be here, don't matter. As long as there's enough room to get a slug in, a bit of a sleeve in, like, for the join. And then I'll end up plating, putting a gusset in here, and a little fillet in there. Maybe a gusset in there as well, both sides, just to make it super duper fucking strong. So yeah, so what I'll do next is cut them off, mark them and cut them. I've got my lines to work to when it comes to fitting them together. Make a little sleeve, and then we can look at coping them for those axle plate boxes. Just another quick insight, look, it's one of the seat rails. Bent to 35 degrees, and what I do is work out the width that I need, less, and then half it, and then take off the backbone. So work out the width I need, less the backbone, and I can give myself a mark on the table where the edge of the backbone comes. So I know that this needs to reach there for a start off and be cut true to it, so I can mark myself a line, give myself a little guide to work to, and that translates really well. That works. I can lay that on the middle of that now. Oh, hold on, hard to do one-handed. I can lay that on the middle of that and take that so it's sitting where it's going to be, and we're pretty damn fucking true. So the job is a good one. I'll get the other one bent. Look, I'll get this one bent up. Same marks. Mark them as a pair. Then if you fuck one up, you can copy it. You know, put my list down here. These are the seat rails, 2 at 33 inches long. Check. Bend at 9 with a question mark. Tried it. It works. 35 degrees with a question mark. Fucking Bob's your answer. There is no half. Get rid of that. So there you go. Right now we've got some of this 1/8 thick walled tube chucked up. I'm just going to face off. It don't really need facing off, but oh, it does actually, because I think I'm going to have to run it on a centre. I need to turn down 100mm of it. I need to take a millimetre off the OD, and that'll give us that sleeve quite nicely. We'll face that off. I will come out with, we need 100mm. Yeah, bounce, don't really matter. So if I go right here, give myself plenty of room, like so. Then I can set a live centre up on the tail stock and machine this without it throwing off. It's not that crucial. Don't get me wrong. It's not a fucking guy with thou perfect. It's just a sleeve that's going to get buried in tube and welded up, like so. As long as it's 27.5, near as fuck it is to swearing, then we'll be happy days. Right, so we've just changed the angle of the dangle to give ourselves some clearance, and got the live centre set up. So if I touch off, that should be 26.6. There you go. We'll go. Look, we took a very light cut. We'll call that 26.5, and we want 25.5. So that's there. Let's just check my feeds and speeds. Hold on, make sure I'm in drive. Now away she goes, Captain. Have a quick measure. What did we want? 27.5 we're after. 27.56. Happy days. You know, I said 26 and I meant 28. Now it's the right size. I just my number dyslexia came out. It was 28.6. It is now 27 point fucking, yeah, you know, I know what I mean. So here we go. And we'll just send it. Although my DRO reads wrong. That'll be happy days. I won't bore you with making you watch all of this. Right, we've got the parting off tool and I'm just going to square it up to the chuck using my 1, 2, 3 block. Look, let's just give that a light. It's not fucking square. Hold on. Yeah. Make sure that's nice and square on there and just give it a tweak. A tweak up while we're leaning on the handle a little bit to keep everything in line. And then we can part that off. You don't usually part off with the centre in because when it cuts it can nip up and fuck your tool up, like, you know, the bit you cut off needs somewhere to go to avoid fucking your tool up. So I'll give it a bit of a start and then have that out of the way. I'm sure it will be absolutely fine, chaps. Don't like to dry. Good stuff, this tube. Hydraulic. Here we go. Boom. Job done. Right, we'll just remove that burr. The very edge, the very corner of this should protrude a little further on the right hand side, so the parts don't end up with a burr, and it never lasts. Not for me anyway. Right, let's give that one of them, and we will also just change the tooling off camera. Give it a good shampoo. Ain't it? Give it a good old lead. Good old fucking lead. There we go. I'll spin it around and do the same with the other end, and then we can get back over to the bench. Righto, that's sleeve in place, and these loosely assembled. We can shift it all over so that this clears the outside, and then work out how we're going to do the coping. Well, it's the coping strategy. Focus, fucking focus, for fuck's sake. Focus, you fuck. Right, so I'll let that, once this is cut off, the back of this tube's cut off, we don't mind it hanging down a little bit, because we like a bit of that. And then we need to merge the front. So I'll trace round that, I'll get that about where I want it, and I'll trace round it with the Sharpie, and then look at chopping it out. Right, so we've marked them out as a matched pair. That's the length, and that's the angle of the dangle for the pillbox, and we want it to terminate there. I'll do it on the furthest. Leave it longest. Leave a bit of room for error, and I will not quite follow that line either. I'll leave it a bit generous, because we need to proceed with a little trepidation, so we're not fucking them up, right? Ain't it? We will cautiously cope those joints out steadily, a little bit at a time. And there's numero uno, coped out nicely, ready for a few tacks, and mocked up. We've squared it up with the line that it needs to square up with, or to show on camera, and we're up against it at the front there, which is bob on, so that could be tacked in place now. Get a couple of light tacks on, and then we can match this side up to suit. We've got the same marks on this side, we just need to trim it up. Righto, down there both in place, and they went really well. I'm happy with that. What we've got to look at is whether to put a brace across here. Now, because we're so short at the back, there's probably not going to be room or a need for it, to be fair. So we know that the wheel comes 13 inches from this spindle if it's right forward, which it never will be, but that takes us to here. Then we want an inch clearance, which is there, and I might run a bit of inch tube across there, which will give a bit of a platform. It won't be level. Don't know. I'll have a look, see how it looks. I'll mock some it up. In the meantime, I'm going to make some little doofers for there. Yeah, we're definitely going to put a plate in there, which will be lovely, and we'll cut some little slithers accordingly to fit in there somehow. Not like that, you'll see them, they'll just be these bits, like will be filled in with a bit of tube, which is absolutely bob on. Yeah, so I think we might not have that something going across, because it's going to come about there if I do that. It needs to be like there, which is pointless. So just the corners then, just the corners to fill out. Maybe do the plates on the inside here, but probably not. I'll do that when the engine's out. I'll mark as far this way as I dare go, so I don't foul the engine. Probably, yeah, there's loads of room this side. It's just that side. I'll give myself a reference then, knowing I can't come further back than where this sump comes down, which is about here. So I can go across there once the engine's out. And I'll do a bit of something for here and cut them off. And then we're on to seat rails. You can hide your liners. Hey, is it Dr. Hook, is it? Anyway, we've got a couple of plates tacked together so that they emulate each other, one another, sorry. It's better grammar. Oh, bastard, it's fucking hot. And we're just going to make a little cope, a little fillet to go in there. And then, bastard, still hot, obviously. And then we'll get them tacked in place. We'll split them, like, and then get one tacked each side. And there we go, look. Nice bit of 10mm plate in there. Tougher than a minibus full of Millwall fans. On the way home from an away day defeat. So, that, with the little plates I'm going to put on the front, is absolutely fucking pucker. There is no room for one across. Even if the wheel was right at the back of its slot, we'd still be close in. It's still not going to fit. We'd still be back here like, which is a bit fucking random, to be fair. So, we'll not be bothering with that. We'll get on and do the seat rails. And they've coped up lovely. Look, just trimmed off like I showed earlier on the table, that end, and offered up like we did the bottom ones this end, and that gives us a lovely jubbly fit. Just up quite high on the backbone. I want to come up there quite a bit because it's so short at the back. We need to maximise space, and level with the weld on the back of that gets us about there, which will do. I will endeavour to tack that on, but I can't film it very well while I'm offering it up like. Hey boys, there we have it. You've got some swish to her. A bit of glare off the light. Sorry, oh, that's better. Let me check a fucking screen grab of that. Hold on. Thumbnail. Oh, let's get Lenny in. Hold on. See if I use that one with Lenny in. Fucking happy days. There is still the cross brace to put in across the back of the seat area, which I'll probably do 1 inch, I think. We'll see. It's quite snug, is the reason. As I've explained it, the brief is long at the front and short at the back, so it's fucking short at the back. I'll measure up the 13 and then give it 1 inch and then whack one across. If I feel it's going to come quite close to here. But that's all good. No dramas there. I'll get that in off camera. And then it's a case of making my tacks bigger, do some stitch welding. Don't weld it up fully, because the acid test is when we drop it on its wheels. And as I've already disclaimed, I'm a bit jippy about this 52 degrees rate. You know, it's going to fucking... My maths might be a bit wonky donkey when it comes to that shit, so we'll see, won't we? But I'll get that in, and then do some stitchy welding. And that's all the fabrication on the tubing and that done. I have decided, I will confer with our Nige, but given the choice, I'd fuck that off. We'll see. It depends on the tank he's using. If we really want one, we'll make one, but it will be after the tank's fitted. Would be the caveat there, like. So, yeah, fucking hell. I love the shape of it. It's fucking great. Quick walk around then. Now that we've got it free from the bench. We did that brace in there, look. Nice and far away, 14 inches from the wheel when it's at its most forwardest. So, for him to mount a mudguard and not foul. We stuck one in the front. Put one in the front there. Just where the crankcase is level up. So, that is that. What I will do next, off camera, because it's a faff, I need to make some temporary wheel spacers because we've not got the bits that we need to do it right. I'm not doing that. That's Nigel's brief. Make some temporary spacers and find something for a spindle because I've not got a spindle either. So work something through there, put a back wheel in and get the front end in, although there's no bearings. So again, that's an approximation. And get it on some wood. We can see how it sits. That's exciting. Right, next up on the block is our cotton. No, look, it is actually, but I'm going to show you this. I don't know if I need to zoom out to get it in shot. I've took a photograph, which you'll have seen on the thumbnail for video. Can I zoom out? Oh, no, that's your lot. So there we go. I'm going to measure it. It's this lovely, that, don't it? Fucking hell, I might grab another screenshot actually. There we go. Get right down here for it. I can't fit it on the fucking screen. I'm going to end up next door. I'm leaning against Harry the bastard in order to get this in frame. Fucking brilliant. I'm going to have a measure. Let's see how long it is. Right, so very roughly Front of the wheel to that chalk line-ish. Back of the wheel to the same. We are looking, if you're watching, Chief, 9 fucking foot. Fuck about. There you go. We've built a 9-foot chop room, man. Let's take this off, look. We're doing fucking thumbnails with the lifting gear on. You don't see me get the engine hoist and lift this off the bench and then struggle like bugger it to get the front end in and all that shit. So I'll clean it up, get a nice thumbnail. And that, my friends, is this frame all together now and in one piece. Obviously it needs stripping and welding and all that shit, but there's other stuff to do. I think we're going to be mounting the tank and something to do with the mudguard and stuff. I'm not sure. Well, how Nigel will get here and have a look, and we will discuss where we're going from here. Fucking love that. I say it's lovely. Fuck about. So there you go. I'm proper sweaty and out of breath from getting that set up this morning. I tell you what, if it breaks down on you, you're not pushing it very fucking far. Right. It just leaves me as always to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up and a sub. Check out all the bumps in the description below. Follow along, you know. You can see what I do. If you like it, follow along. Drop me a comment and I'll always try and get back to you. Look at memberships of the channel. You get a little bit. You get extra, you get early access. And you get your name up on the screen if you go to the right level of membership. I'm not touting it, but it does help, yeah? So, once again, thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you next week.